Let's get a little Yamaha taste the bait going here and talk to, on the other side of the scoreboard, the leaders.
Yeah, so pretty much,
Adrian Avena.
The three main techniques I was using this week on Carter's Lake. First and foremost, it pretty much got me here was a drop shot, and pretty standard. What I did notice, it was important to really have a longer leader. It seemed like a lot of them fish were suspended, so I was using like a 2-foot leader on that, and I was just using a 4-inch hand poured worm and a 1/2 ounce to 3/8 ounce drop shot weight, and throwing that on the brand new Berkley X5 8-pound braid to a 6-pound trilene fluorocarbon leader. And technique number 2 is what we caught most of our fish on today, and that was an 1.5 ounce jigging spoon. I hand painted that one, and it was white and pink, and just putting a big treble on there. I put a size number 2 fusion treble hook. It's a 1X treble. Throwing that on a 7-foot medium heavy Fantastica casting rod with a 10-to-1 rocket with 12-pound fluorocarbon, fishing very deep, fishing from 40 to 70 feet of water. And then the last technique, I'd have to say, it's kind of hard. I really caught the majority of my fish on them 2. But if I had to throw another one in there, I'd have to say a jerkbait. Jerkbait allowed me to cover a lot of water. Didn't really catch many fish on it. Only caught a few, and none of the ones that I weighed. But it's a great search tool, especially in the fall. And that I was throwing on a 610 medium light villain, 8-to-1 ALX with 10-pound fluorocarbon, and I was bouncing with a couple different jerkbaits, 3 or 4 different jerkbaits, including one of them was the cutter, Berkley cutter jerkbait.
Yeah, I've switched it up from a wake bait to a whopper plopper, lane chain. I mean, just switching it up all on top pretty much is what I've caught all my fish on. And just really just switched up today to that Lucky Strike jerkbait, man, and I'm telling you what, they ate that thing. I still want to see how big that one was that came off. But there again, like I was saying earlier, sometimes your blessings are in disguise, because that fish came off and then that other one grabbed it. So would I have gotten the big one up next to the boat and then it come off and then not had the shot to catch that other one? So, I mean, it's one of those things where I'm just thankful for the day that it's been so far. We got an hour left, but top water, top water, top water. I'm not really going to change from that. It's what kind of got me here, and I don't want to go try to do something else, and I might if I feel that I need to, but I'm going to stick with this, see if I can't catch one more big one. Name of the game's cover and water. Cover, 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 cover. As you can see, we've covered a lot of water. If I'd have never picked this up at 3:15 on the very first day, I don't think I would have been here. I was thinking I was around that 4.5, 5-pound range with 3, and then caught 2 really good ones within about 30 minutes of each other, and that propelled us. So then it gave me an idea of what to do the rest of the time. You got that morning bite, but then you've got to have an afternoon bite at some point. We haven't had that yet today as far as the fish go, but it's one of those things where if I'd have never picked this up, I probably wouldn't be sitting here right now.
A couple of fish on a James Watson River to Sea spoon, a big spoon jack and spoon he makes, chrome and blue, zoom, green pumpkin, blue flake, trick worm, 1/4 ounce shaky head, 8-pound sunline, fluorocarbon leader, 10-pound sunline, braid baseline on a spinning rod. Those fish were all caught 30 to 45. Caught a few fish on a jerkbait. Caught some this morning on a DT10. Really having to swap it up more, but to to me is that, I guess the number one bait of that would be the shaky head, the trick worm. But you never know here, day to day, what you're going to have to throw.
Yamaha Taste the Bait with our 3 anglers who are currently leading their matches. And I just as you said, Davey, we got one guy doing one extreme, one guy doing the other extreme, and another guy bouncing around.
Extremely doing all of them.
Extremely doing.
That's what you call a taste of the bait buffet.
Exactly. You had a dessert. You had all the items on the menu there. So that's good stuff.
It's great stuff, and it shows how scattered and how so many things will work because of what's going on this lake right now. The lake's turning over, and the water temperature is right in that in between where these fish, some are wanting to still be on the bank around the shoreline because there's still a decent amount of bluegill and sunfish, I'm sure, along the bank, and then you have a lot of your bait that's out on the main lake, and some of the bait is moving in these ditches and creeks.
Yeah, I think the pump back aspect of this lake also exacerbates the scatteredness. If it was a consistent level, I feel like the fish would be a little more patternable, and you'd see a couple patterns emerge.